Hello there. Hi, everybody. Chef Michael Smith here. Welcome to my test kitchen right here in my backyard on Prince Edward Island. I'm thrilled to welcome you on behalf of the Avion collection. Looking forward to yet another fun live event. It's super cool to be sharing this time with you across Canada, around the world. Thousands of people tuning into these events. And we're having so much fun putting them together. It's a big night in fortune, as we say around here. It's May. The inn is open now, our family restaurant, our country inn. We opened over the past weekend and had a rip-roaring opening weekend. So proud of our team and really looking forward to a great summer season. It looks like the Maritimes are going to enjoy a very busy summer travel season, and the rest of Canada as well. And I know so many of you watching tonight are looking forward to traveling a little bit this summer, getting back out on the road and doing what we do and just experiencing this great country of ours. And so we're looking forward to welcoming some of you to Prince Edward Island. And now I get to step away for the night and spend some time with you for the next little while. And what we want to do tonight is just roll through some kitchen hacks, share with you some of the real knowledge that I have learned over time as an actual family cook. I know so many of you have been with me for so long, and I'm so grateful to have shared this path with you for so many years, 20 years now. And during that time, my son Gabe's grown up. He's off in university now, and my girls are at home still, and they're growing up. And all through that, I've had a chance to cook for my family and for my friends and my community. And so I want to share with you some of the real lessons that I've learned, some of the strong lessons that I've learned, the things that I think really add up to being a successful home cook. And I want to start with, how to recipe. How to recipe. Let's just set some intentions. Like, Al, spin around the room. Show them how much we got to do tonight. We got a lot going on. We're going to go through all kinds of little things here tonight. We're going to cover tips and ingredients and some super cool hacks, but we've got to start somewhere. And the best place to start is how to recipe. Let's set our intentions. How do we recipe? What do I mean by that? Well, first and foremost, as best as possible, think about going to the market first. Look at this bouquet of vegetables from the Inn at Bay Fortune's garden. We just picked these today: radishes, baby turnips, some sunchokes, lovely plant that we overwinter, parsnips that we overwinter, leeks that we overwinter. And really what this speaks to is this is today's harvest. And tomorrow's harvest is going to be a little bit different. And the next week's will be something else altogether. And when you have the opportunity, challenge yourself to start first with the ingredients and then look for the recipe. That's kind of the way best cooks look at things. We start with awesome ingredients and then we go looking for a recipe. And so when you go looking for a recipe, well, let me give you a little bit of guidance. There's all kinds of cookbooks out there. I mean, heck, you know this, like shelffuls of cookbooks at the cookbook store. And there's a very big shelf out there somewhere dedicated to, tall guys that write cookbooks. There's all kinds of great choices out there. But I want to be clear. These are my books, and my books belong behind The Joy of Cooking. And this is what I mean. We all need a book. Many of us as cooks rely on a single book. We tend to find a really good book early on and stick to it. And I think that's a good strategy. I think you can learn a lot from a good book. And for me, over a long career as a working chef, my go-to book has always been The Joy of Cooking. And that's why I have 5 of them, because I've literally worn them out. I mean, as a young cook, I couldn't have been the chef I am had I not had this book for ratios. I mean, this goes way back, way before internet, Wi-Fi, what? Back in the day, I didn't know anybody or anything. All I had were my cookbooks. And so I think it's a good strategy for you as well. Find a book you believe in. Maybe it's one of mine. Maybe it's some other great Canadian author. And there's so many great books coming out all the time. But find a book you believe in and then use that book. And I don't necessarily mean the flavor of the week either. Because what I'm saying is this is a base cookbook. This has got everything in it, every possible ratio, every possible thing that I might need to cook. And yes, I'm online constantly researching, and there's so much great food information online these days. But a lot of you know what it's like to scroll through recipes online. It can be a bit of a pain in the you know what. And there's just something nice about a good old-fashioned analog cookbook too. So find your cookbook. Mine just happens to be The Joy of Cooking. And then when it's time to get cooking, regardless of what book, what recipe, get organized. Read the recipe first. I'm always surprised to find how many people actually don't read the recipe all the way through first, and sort of step away a little bit and then read, and then all of a sudden, surprise, surprise, whoa, I didn't know that was coming. Read the recipe first, just basics. Read the recipe first, and then organize your prep. Okay, take the time to organize yourself in the kitchen. I mean, if you're going to prep, okay, use trays and just have a peek out. You can see I use lots of trays. I'm constantly organizing things on trays. I read my recipe, I get my tools together, I get organized. I've got extra trays if I need them. I can work as I go. Things get prepped, things move. I contain messes. I stay organized. And that's a great strategy because, look, you know this. You're a home cook. And when you start cooking and prepping and getting ready, you're going to make a mess. And one of the marks of a pro is that you anticipate that mess. You know it's coming. So before it arrives, you're ready for it. In other words, have a messy bowl. Not that big a deal, just something. I mean, this is a work surface. This is not a storage surface for mess, is it? No, the mess belongs in some kind of container on its way to its final destination, maybe in your compost or wherever it's going. But it's not something that belongs on the work surface itself. So contain your mess, think ahead, get ready. It's time to cook, sort of thing. Getting everything ready, checking my notes too, to make sure I don't miss anything. And yeah, no, we're doing good. So let's move on. That's just kind of some of those basics. Let's move on to some more specific things. Okay, start to amp it up a little bit here. And these are just some quick tips from my kitchen. And I really did make an effort to go into my actual home kitchen, walk around a little bit, think it through, some of my moves, some of the things that I take for granted that might be worth sharing. And here are a few of those basics, just some basic ingredients in no particular order. And not surprising to me that right away I'm going to talk about fat, and oil. Right on, here we go. So fat, bacon fat. This is right off of my stove at home. I save my bacon fat. I'm constantly saving bacon fat. I do it, and I save other animal fats too. Very often I've got duck fat, I've got chicken fat, I've got bacon fat, I've got rendered beef fat. I save my animal fats because they cost a lot of money and they're full of flavor. And I can level up dishes with them all the time. I can roast potatoes with bacon fat. My kids just love that. And this is just a very simple thing that you can do. Start to save some of your animal fats, that rendered chicken fat, on the edge of the pan, whatever. Save that stuff. It costs money. It's flavorful. And there is nothing wrong on God's green earth with eating animal fats. They're good for us. So save that stuff and cook with it, okay? On to butter, okay? Butter. Oh, God, imagine life without butter. I certainly don't want to spend any time imagining life without butter. I love life with butter, which is why there is always room temperature salted butter in my kitchen 100% of the time. In fact, there's another one right behind it, still in the wrapper, getting to soft, just in case we run out of the stuff that is soft, so we never have to go wait for soft butter. It's that important to us. Salted butter will not go off. It will not go bad. It's amazing how long it will last at room temperature, barely covered, for a week. It's static. It's okay. Unsalted butter, boom, 1 hour, it's gone. Unsalted butter is a bad idea. I don't know why we use it. And don't say it's for pastry, because all we ever do is use it in pastry and then add salt to the recipe. And salted butter is not salty butter. It's salted butter. It's nicely seasoned butter. And so it doesn't make anything around it salty. So unsalted butter is generally a very bad idea for home cooking. It goes rancid very quickly. It tastes weird, under-seasoned. etc., etc. Soft, room temperature, salted. And if you can find good old-fashioned ADL butter from Prince Edward Island, do it, because it's pretty good butter. Cows makes great butter too. But continuing the theme of the basics, fats, oils, and oils. So these two oils, and I don't mean these exact two brands. I'm not, talking about this particular brand. Let's just keep in mind that there's two oils here. There's grapeseed oil and there's olive oil. And those are two very basic oils in my home. I use those oils frequently. And do you need that light turned back on? Oh, okay. Sorry. Let's stay focused. This is me staying focused. Grapeseed oil, olive oil. And what I mean is this is sort of 90% of the oils that we work with in our home, because this is an oil I can cook with, and this is an oil that I can not cook with. And so never cook with olive oil. Cooking with olive oil ruins the oil. As soon as you heat the olive oil, you buck it right back down the ranks to normal vegetable oil. You waste all the flavor potential. It burns right out. It's not a good idea. Don't cook with olive oil. Instead, cook with a vegetable oil. In particular, I like grapeseed oil. It's got a very high smoke point. It can handle lots of heat in a pan. It's very effective. It does a good job at what it's supposed to do. It helps me saute, helps me sear. It's an excellent choice. Grapeseed oil. Grapeseed oil. Use it all the time. Olive oil, good olive oil. I mean, like the good stuff. Maybe you brought it back from vacation, or maybe there's a boutique store nearby, or somebody's got really good olive oil. Save that stuff. Keep it cold if it's really good. And keep it for cold applications, for salad dressings and that sort of thing. There is a difference. And notice how there's no margarine here, of course. There's nothing artificial here. We're not going to get that hydrolyze, take the oil and bubble the hydrogen gas through it, baloney. No margarine. We put that to bed years ago. Bad idea. Phony is always a bad idea. I can't believe it's not, what. Anyway, moving on. Okay, stay focused, chef. So a couple more ingredients, just basic stuff. Mason jars. I know a lot of you are chuckling right now. They're such a huge part of my style. I've used them forever. I really find it so wonderful how easy it is to see things in them. So much of cooking is so visual, so easy to store things. They're so multi-purpose. But what I really want to draw your attention to is just something that's just sort of to pop up in the last few years are these reusable lids, like game changers for me. I'm so sick and tired of those rusty little collars, and and there always seems to be, like, for as many socks as we lose, we somehow gain those little lids. I don't know what it is, but for now, these are game changers. I love them. They're tidy. They're easy to clean. They don't disappear somehow. I love these little lids, and I use these jars for everything. And I wish the heck I had bought stock in the company 25 years ago. Anyway, on the salt and pepper, basics. So these are directly, as I would say, I'm a chef, and my wife would shoot me when I say this, but directly off the line in my own home. It's not the line, it's my home kitchen, but this is right next to the stove. These are called salt pigs. The French call these salt pigs. There's lots of different types out there, but basically it's just a safe place to store your salt near where you need it. And I always work with two different salts. I always have two different salts going. I've always got a fine salt and a kosher salt. And let's talk briefly about why. So much of seasoning for me, salt, is tactile, being able to touch it. As chefs, we're taught to pick up the salt, feel the salt, and season with the salt. We're taught to season relatively high, for even dispersal. Very often when we pick some salt up and we get right there next to that, we end up with all these little salt piles in one place, but no salt over here. So we're taught to season from up high to get even dispersal over things. And it's just nice to have a place to keep your salt safe. But the kosher salt, of course, is way more tactile. It's easy to feel. It's easy to calibrate. It's easy to know with my eyes closed. I know exactly that's a half teaspoon of salt right there. I just know it. And it's because it's coarse. It's easy to pick up. On the other end, it's also tastier. Those little bursts of, and this isn't quite finishing salt. There's really fancy salts out there that we use for finishing. This is approaching it, but look, most of us at home on a Wednesday night, who cares if you're using the finishing salt? It's nice to have a little sprinkle of salt sometimes on a steak or the like, and that's what the kosher salt is for. Of course, fine salt, sea salt, it's often called fine salt, is equally necessary. Sometimes you're measuring salt, baking things. I tend to use the fine salt for measuring. When recipes say a tablespoon, a teaspoon, check the book. Every author's a little different, but most recipes, it's a good idea. That's what the fine salt is for. I want to be clear. Both of these salts, in fact, all salt is sea salt. Okay, don't be fooled by that. It's not somehow magically not really. All salt came from the ocean. There may be great big giant deposits of salt under land 500 miles away from the ocean, but that is still sea salt. It comes from the ocean. All salt came from the ocean. So it's not like this big magical thing. Oh my God, it's sea salt. It's the best salt. No, either it's kosher, coarse salt, and that's what kosher salt means. Kosher refers to the process of koshering, a process where you sprinkle salt on meat and draw impurities to the surface of the meat. And if you're in the business of sprinkling salt on meat and drawing impurities, you quickly realize that the best salt to use is coarse salt, not fine salt, and hence kosher salt. On to pepper, shall we? The game changer here is understanding the difference between grinding your own pepper and the pre-ground stuff. Don't use pre-ground pepper. It's such a game changer. It's like you throw out half of it. When you buy pepper, you buy two things. You buy heat and you buy flavor. And when it's pre-ground, you don't get the flavor. You just don't. You get the heat. But the flavor of pepper, oh my God, Tellicherry peppercorns, a particular region in India. It's so fragrant, so amazingly fragrant. Get your good peppers and then take the time to dry them, and don't get all freaked out whether you're buying the right peppercorns or not. 99% of what I'm talking about right now is just taking the time to grind pepper, getting a good pepper mill. And I'm going to go right on air and I'm going to say it right now. Don't waste time with any pepper mill that doesn't say Peugeot. Believe it or not, the car company started making pepper mills. Then they started making bicycles, and then they started making cars. This is a Peugeot from France pepper mill. They are the world's best. If it's plastic down there, forget it. Forget it. What a waste of time. Peugeot, trust me. Whole peppercorns. And then just starting to understand our ingredients. Mustard seems to be a big one for me. There's just something about mustard. I'm in awe of mustard. Maybe what it is about mustard is that mustard is such an easily accessible ingredient for you to sort of launch yourself into the world of understanding food science. A good example, like we use mustard for flavor, of course. It's a condiment. It's got vinegar in it. It's great on a hot dog, et cetera, et cetera. But mustard also contains lecithin, and lecithin is an emulsifier. And emulsifiers help oil and water combine into smooth, homogeneous substances. And of course, we're talking about vinaigrettes. In my magical mustard, magical salad dressing making machine here, you should shake all day long, vinegar, oil, honey, you shake all you want. It is not going to combine. It just can't. It's oil and vinegar. It's going to separate. If we had time to sit and watch that for a minute or two, it's going to separate. The water molecules are bumping into the others and forming biggers, and phase separation is happening live right here on Prince Edward Island. But I can stop that phase separation with any mustard by simply squirting a touch of mustard. It does not take very much. Make sure you open the mustard first, chef. Here's one that's open. There we go. Just a little squirt, good old-fashioned yellow ballpark mustard made right here in Canada. No shame in that. And it doesn't take much, or put lots. I like mustard. It's good in salad dressing. A lot of salad dressings are really benefit from lots of mustard. So go for it and then shake away. And that is a very different liquid than was there a moment ago. Very different. Let me put it there in that beautiful light. See it? Look at it just glowing away there now. Oh, that's a salad dressing, and that's mustard. And of course, there are so many other things in the kitchen that have these sort of fascinating little scientific things that go on. And you don't have to know all those things to be a great cook. You don't. Many of them you do know just through instinct, through practice, through this works, that doesn't work. We don't always understand the underlying science, but as cooks, if you're interested in leveling up your game, it is fascinating to sort of delve into that a little bit to understand. And this is tip of the iceberg stuff, just understanding mustard. This is tip of the iceberg. there are many, many, many ingredients that we can come to understand, incorporate into our repertoire. Oof. Okay. This is usually where Food Network goes and takes a commercial break, and when we're talking turkeys or soap or something, but we're not. Instead, I'm going to breathe. I'm going to have a drink for a second of some sparkling water. Just some sparkling water. And let's move on. We've covered how to recipe. We've covered some basic ingredients. And now let's just talk about kitchen tools for a little bit. Some of my favorite kitchen tools. Come on over. Here we are. So I've gathered together a bunch of different things, just quick tools. I'm going to sort of range through this as quickly as I can, share with you some quick insight, share with you some of my favorite tools, and take what works for you and leave the rest. But in no particular order, let's start with peeling garlic. It's a pretty important one. Every kitchen needs garlic, eh? Geez, imagine life without garlic. So one of the most easy things that I use to peel garlic is this silicone peeler. Super simple. Silicone garlic peeler. You search it up. You can get this stuff very easily at a specialty just a specialty kitchen tool store, even your normal supermarket. This is not like some crazy obscure thing. And it works by taking the garlic still with the peel on, okay, and just slipping it inside the silicone sleeve, just putting it inside. And because I have big hands, you can actually slip with big hands, you can slip like 2 in there, okay? And then I just sort of roll it together, okay? Roll it together. And with practice, you quickly realize, oh, boom, it's done. And out it comes. And the garlic peels are gone. Super easy to work with. Love this trick, okay? Great tool to have. Peeling garlic, essential. Other good tools to have. One of my favorites. You see me use it all the time. A microplane grater. Canadian origins right here. Wife of a Lee Valley worker. Lee Valley, that's ours, Wife of a Lee Valley worker understood that rasp out in the wood shop was also really useful in the kitchen. Much respect. We're talking about 25 years ago, and I'm so happy to have had a career with a microplane grater. There's so much you can do with it. Let me show you a couple quick things. The first big one that we so often use graters for is, here, let me get rid of that mess, is just for citrus, okay? We know, and so many of us know that there's more actual lemon flavor, literally more lemon flavor in the oil in the skin than in the juice inside. More lemon flavor in the skin than the juice. And the way to get it is with some kind of grater, okay? And this is the wrong one. So let's learn a lesson. If you spend money on a grater, and if you take that grater, I'm going to show you why that's the wrong grater. While Guy finds the right grater. This grater, I made the mistake of washing this grater on the back. I went like that. And what I did, because it's so fine, I bent them. Even though I was going the right way, I wasn't getting caught. I actually bent the little jibs, and this guy doesn't work anymore. So lesson learned, don't do that. Instead, when you have a microplane grater, treat it carefully and watch the difference. Okay, that's backwards. Sorry, here we go. Right, okay. See the difference? Just look at the powder that comes out, okay? Look at that. It's just amazing. It's so fragrant. I think even though you can't smell or taste it, I think you can see, look at all that flavor. It's just insane. The whole place smells like lemon right now. I'm not the only guy that knows this trick, but citrus zest, come on, are you going to throw that out? There's so much flavor there. Don't throw that out. There's so much flavor. Works with all citrus. Orange, that's a great one. And trust me, the commercial orange juice companies know damn well how much flavor there is in orange oil. You think you're actually getting, some guy who's squeezing the juice in the orchard and ran it in the can for you? No. Anyway, orange too. Oh, God, it smells good. Lime, you sort of get the idea. So what else can you do? Well, hard cheese. Lots of us use good, real, true Parmigiano, Reggiano, Grana Padano, that sort of thing from Italy. Just good, hard old-fashioned Parmesan cheese, and you often find yourself getting down to that rind, where it really gets hard. And microplane grater works great for this. Even one that still has citrus oil on it. Look at it. See, works so well. I mean, just imagine that's a bowl of pasta sitting right there. Somebody's going to be saying more, don't stop, right? Look at that, just on top of pasta. It's like fur, it's like snow. It's so fine using a microplane grater. One more really cool trick, microplane grater. In your freezer, this is where I keep my ginger. I keep ginger in the freezer. Rock hard ginger. Watch. This is how I add ginger to my cooking. I do it all the time. Sometimes I'm slicing it thinly for various reasons, but this right here, this is ginger powder. Look at that. I know maybe it's a little hard to see it. I'm right on top of the Parmesan, the sort of yellow gold right there. Watch. Here we go. I want you to see how good this is. That's ginger powder right there. Look at that. You just know that's going to taste good. And with a microplane grater, frozen. So when you're done, put this back in the freezer. But voice of experience, this has to stay in an airtight container in your freezer. If you just pitch it into the freezer like that, come back tomorrow, it's going to be dried out. It's going to be desiccated because that's how refrigeration works. It draws air from the cabinet. It doesn't add cold air. It draws air. So yeah, just keep it airtight. Yeah, okay, there's my microplane grater. What else do we got? Let's talk digital thermometers. Okay, digital for a moment. In this day and age, there is no reason not to have a proper digital thermometer. My favorite, they look like this. Just open it up. It's called a ThermaPen. I open it up. You can see what happens when it's closed. Okay, it's off. All I have to do is open it and it turns on. I've got a nice probe. I know where my temperature zone is and it tells me digitally, and I trust this and it works. And in this day and age, why not? So strongly recommend digital. Another type you can get are these guys, a little easier to work with. Both of these thermometers live right underneath the salt next to my stove in my kitchen. I use them all the time. This guy's cool because if you screw around with the buttons here, you can sort of get the 70 to go this way. Maybe you like stabbing your food this way or this way, whatever, it works. But these old-fashioned ones, yeah, not so good. Not so good. Stick with the modern tech, okay? Like when you think about, so many of you watching are into this, like you're into your cooking, you want to level up, you want to be a good cook, you want to do your best, right? And so, so much of it is just, when you think about all that money we spend on food these days, it's a lot of money we spend on food. So spending just, $20 for a thermometer, just to keep it all tranquilo, it's a good play. It's a good play. What else? How about a simple vegetable peeler? You all got to have a good, we just all have to have a good vegetable peeler. This one's a little fancier than most. It's shiny, different colors, whatever. It's still a vegetable peeler. So of course, it peels vegetables. So what can I do? I can peel a carrot. Okay, great. Hey, come here. Look, he's peeling a carrot with a carrot peeler. This is amazing. I had no idea they could do that, but that's not the point, is it? This is the point. You can also keep peeling because now the peel is gone. The peel's gone, so keep peeling. Isn't that a great little addition to a salad right there? Wouldn't you want to mix that into your salad greens? Nice sharp peeler. Just keep peeling. Flip it over. Go the other direction. Maybe this is just a mixture of greens or whatever that vegetable salad is you like to make in the summer. Keep peeling, okay? Or maybe you're doing a stir fry or something. Just keep peeling. It's a great quick way to prep carrots into any dish. And why not do the same with something like asparagus? Generally I break that bottom off, but with the asparagus, look, you can peel asparagus. All right, hold it on the deck and just peel. And don't worry too much. I mean, if I was in the restaurant, I'd be really worried about that. But I'm at home. I'm just making a salad. No big deal, right? Just peel. This is a really valid way of prepping asparagus, especially this time of year when it's so delicious, okay? Great way to put things into a salad, okay? Just peel. Simple vegetable peeler. It's amazing. No big deal. Sitting right there in your kitchen. Just peel. Okay. All right. I mean, you understand, folks. I'm trying to show you as much as I can tonight. Just goes over the top of all these. So let's carry on. So, okay, simple pair of tongs. So often we overlook these tongs. Like, you can go to a professional restaurant gear store in your community. You can find one, and at the very least, get yourself a set of pro tongs, like the good ones. Don't screw around with old bad tongs. They just don't work. They're so important. There's lots you can do with it. One of my favorite tricks here. I mean, we keep this griddle going on the just grilling off citrus. A wonderful way to finish flavors, grilling off citrus. And here's where the tongs are so useful, because once they're grilled off, it's so easy to grab onto that hot citrus and just squeeze, use the tongs, use that mechanical advantage, Works so well, grab onto that lemon and squeeze, use the tongs. The tongs do it for you. Use that mechanical advantage. It's like a little tool there, see? Orange juice, grilled orange juice. Okay, just one extra little thing you can do with a set of tongs. So let's see here. We've covered off quite a few of my favorite kitchen tools. I want to show you though my all-time favorite. Before I get there though, bench scraper. Gosh, game changer. Great tool from Professional Kitchen, bench scrapers. Look at this. We use it all the time. Look at the mess. Like, this is very normal, right? Very normal to have that kind of mess at home. So just use a bench scraper. They use so easy to clean up. Use them all the time. Bench scrapers. Okay. But without question, my favorite tool is Excalibur. Of all my kitchen tools, this is the one. This was handmade, molded to my hand 30 years ago at 3 o'clock in the morning. And this is what I shuck oysters with. I have personally shucked at least 50,000 oysters with this knife. It means a lot to me, this knife. And, an oyster shucking is a skill, and it's the sort of thing you can learn and do with time. And, we've always got oysters around on Prince Edward Island, and, we love our oysters and we take them seriously, and we all need to have a good shucker. And I'm lucky because Shucker Patty made this for me. He made it for me. He made it and molded it to my hand. And Shucker Patty, Patrick McMurray, has the Guinness World Record for oyster shucking. He's a good friend. This guy's awesome. Shucker Patty, Swiss Smart, they make them. This was a prototype, number 7 in the line, but now you can buy it. If you're into oyster shucking, okay, you've got to have a good knife. And I strongly recommend the Shucker Patties. Wonderful knife to have. Really looks like a pro. Get that off of there. That's a little bit of oyster schmeg. But anyway, you can see what I'm talking about. It's a wonderful knife. I slip it out and show it to you. This one's called the Malpec. Just a beautiful knife. Patrick designed this knife himself. These moves, these shapes, these are all deliberate. It explains right here how to use it. This is the sort of thing that can really change your game. This is how the pros do it. The guy set the Guinness World Record. This is my favorite tool right here. There it is. How to shuck an oyster. We'll cover the shucking part some other time. Some more, sort of day-by-day tools, though. Some super simple ones in my world. Have a good high-speed blender. This blender starts my day every single day. My kids get sick of it. They're so sick of smoothies, but we eat them every day. We drink them every day. Smoothies, bananas, lots of good yogurt, orange juice, frozen fruit, and a good blender. We do it every day. There's so much nutrition in there. I am proud. This is one of the best things I know I'm doing for my kids every day, is making sure they eat yogurt every day, every single day. Real yogurt, not the stuff with the sugar and all the bologna in it. Just true, plain old-fashioned Greek yogurt. It's good for your probiotics. It's good for your gut health. We all know how important that is. This thing right here, this fancy blender that I love, that I use every day, is designed to get yogurt into my kids' bellies every day, and it works. This is a good tool. Speaking of blenders, this one's a little tougher to clean up. Okay, every morning, trust me, I know what it takes to clean this blender up. But sometimes when you're on the fly and you're cooking and supper, and you got to get things done, you need another blender. I love this blender. This one's called an Immersion Blender. It's super simple. Like, this is just a basic tomato sauce. Super simple, basic tomato sauce. And I want to puree it, but I don't want to take it and put it in a blender or put it in a food processor and deal with all that clean and the danger of pureeing hot liquids. And that's where an immersion blender comes in. Um, Super simple. Here we go. You can see. Nice, rustic, chunky, homemade tomato sauce. I use this thing all the time. So easy to clean up. Generally, you can buy them where they separate out just like that. Just pitch it right in the sink. Super easy all the time. Great game changer. Ooh, look at all that brown butter in there. Ooh, we're going to get to that later. Hey, why don't you come around here? I want to show you something, Mel, and everybody at home. Let's look at this oven for a second. So, just speaking of gear, okay, speaking of gear, lots of times we talk about convection ovens. I just want to say it as simply as I can. If you have a convection oven, every single time you use it, turn the fan on. Use your fan. The fan is your friend. Okay, it's very easy when you think about it. This oven set to 350, 400 degrees. I can put my hands in it. Okay, it's 400 degrees in there, and look, my hands are in it, right? Okay, what's going on? How come my hands are in a 400-degree oven, but I won't put these same hands in 212-degree boiling water? Okay, we're talking Fahrenheit. What's up? Well, it's about heat conduction, and air is horrible at heat conduction. It's not good. Water is much better. Put your hands in boiling water, burn them. Put your hands in boiling oven, nothing, right? So my point is this. That's what the fan is for. This is inefficient. The fan moves the air around in the space and makes it more efficient. It doesn't make it hotter. There's a misnomer there. Turn on the fan. You're not making your oven hotter. You're making it more efficient. You're eliminating dead spots. You don't have to turn trays anymore, that sort of thing. So I strongly recommend, if you have a convection oven, every single time you use your oven, turn your fan on. Every time. I do every single time. Okay. But let's get to the meat of it, shall we? We got some fun stuff ahead. But before we get there, some really practical tips. Because if you cook, that means you clean. I cook, I clean. I know what it's like to clean my kitchen at home. I do it all the time. No big deal, right? So just a couple of quick tips. Here we are at the dish sink in the test kitchen. One big one, just randomly. You know what it's like when it's time to measure honey. I mean, come on, you know what this does, right? Look, okay, so I need a tablespoon of honey. Here it comes. You know what's going to happen, right? There's my tablespoon of honey. Now what? All right, so I measure it out. But what, like there's half a tablespoon stuck there. So what do I do? Okay, come on, this is basic. Lots of us know this. Just take a second. Just give it a light oil mist. Okay, light oil mist. And then measure that honey. And then look at the difference. Done. Okay, simple, right? These are kitchen hacks. These are things that we learn over time. These are things that we like to share with each other, just super simple things. I'm sure you have a few that you could share with me. One of my favorites, this is big. I try to teach my cooks this, okay? We're busy, we're pros, we've got a restaurant to run. This is my third man, okay? Or pick your sport, whatever your sport is, add one man, and this is like my 12th man if you're into football or whatever. And all I mean is this is a sink full of soapy water. And this is where you soak things. And soaking things gives you a legs up later when it's time to clean the mess. It's so much easier if you just deliberately gave yourself a place to soak the mess, things that are sticky, right? You know, like a good example over here. Okay, so I'll take a look. I'm over here grilling up pork chops. You know, digital thermometers are going to tell me if I got it right or not. But look, I mean, honestly, people, sometimes your pan ends up looking a little wonky, eh? Like you did your best. You surely did. And gosh, it pains me to throw out that kind of flavor. Like I can't, sorry. I at least have to try, right? You just know there's flavor there. So at least I try a little bit of water, you know, because I want the flavor. I don't want to lose the flavor. But then again, I still got to clean this pan. So, all right. So look, there's a nice little jus. But what's that? I got to clean that. So use your soak sink. Just put it in. It's funny to me how many people just throw it in the sink and let it dry, but set yourself up first. This is setting yourself up for success, because definitely one of the biggest things I do when I cook is I clean everything as I go. I mean, this is kind of horrifying to me, the mess that I can see I just left behind right now. Never mind, we'll clean it up later. But seriously, it is one of the very important things that I do when I cook is I always try to clean as I go. I do find that it keeps me on track, keeps me efficient. And so just a couple more quick cleaning tips. Here's a big one. All right. Like the moment, this moment. All right. I don't know. What did you make? Pancakes this morning, dough, bread, something, right? Like this stuff is horrible on. Got dishes to do later. I'll get back to these. But you know what I mean? Like this dried on doughy business, it's horrible on your cleaning gear. Like you try to clean it with the scrubbies and it gets all gummed up inside. Or I don't even want to do it. I think you've probably seen it. Like if I start cleaning this, it gets all inside and now the flour's all stuck and this is garbage now. Now I got to throw that out and I'm just trying to clean one pan. Well, here's what you do. You soak it and then reach for a wire whisk. A wire whisk. You can use the wire whisk, scrub the bowl. Okay, it'll scrub nicely after it's soaked out, and you will not end up with all kinds of crap on your whisk. You're not going to end up with all this floury business on your whisk. Okay, just a quick cleaning tip. Now, look, honestly, this stuff is so dried on right now. We did such a good job trying to make a mess here that it needs that little soak. All right, you let it soak there for a minute. I guarantee you, I come back to that, and it's like 2 minutes. It's going to be ready to go. Okay, so that's just some quick cleaning tips. Swing back around front. Let's get into some really cool stuff. Okay, so I need a quick plate. And let's see here. Still on just quickly on the cleaning topic. Non-stick pans. Hey, look at these grilled cheese sandwiches here. Aren't they beautiful? Standard issue, non-stick pan. Do it all the time. I mean, look at that. Like, don't you just want to eat that, all that gooey cheese? But look what's left on the bottom of the pan too. Okay. And I guess that's part of the point I'm trying to make is that non-stick pans are excellent part of our cooking repertoire. There's so many things we can do in it, like a great grilled cheese sandwich. But let's not forget that one of the reasons we love a non-stick pan is how easy it is to clean too. How easy it is to clean. And it goes. Done, like no trickery. It's done. It's that easy. I mean, I got to rinse and dry it, of course, but you get the idea. And I particularly like that about my non-stick pans. I don't use my non-stick pans for 100% of my cooking, but I use them for an awful lot because they are convenient. So let's look at a couple more quick hacks. All right, just some quick stuff. We'll power through. First off, okay, whipped cream. Anybody ever make whipped cream? We all make whipped cream now and then. You make a little whipped cream, freeze the bowl. Freeze the bowl. Literally freeze the bowl. Make it nice and cold. Give yourself a leg up and it'll help. Okay, the cream is cold. All right, it whips much better when it's cold. Always. All you can see, look how frosted that is. A little bit of sugar, just a simple whipped cream. Freeze the bowl. Okay, we'll let it go for a second. In the interest of time, I want to show you a few more things in the freezer. So I just want to turn that off so you can hear me. Just frozen things. We talked about frozen ginger. Sometimes avocados, great call. You know how these things are so often, they go ripe so fast. What do I do now? You can freeze them. Throw them in the freezer. When it's perfectly ripe, throw it in the freezer. Easy to thaw, easy to use again. Onions. Some of us cry a lot. You can freeze onions. Just chill them down. I wouldn't necessarily freeze it rock solid. You can't cut a rock solid onion, but a cold onion doesn't release the oils as easily that make us cry. And of course, a sharp knife makes a huge difference if you're trying to stop crying with onions. Okay, freezer hacks. My favorite freezer hack though, this one, I do this all the time. Okay, let me clear the deck for you. Thank you, sir. Watch this. Okay, this is something I make a lot. Okay, freezer hack. If I want to make biscuits, I can do it very quickly with frozen butter. Okay, there's my flour. The toughest step when you're making biscuits is cutting the fat into the flour. And when you use frozen butter, look what you get. Okay, you can see it. Easy, easy to combine with the fat. One of my all-time favorite kitchen hacks right here. Frozen butter, how to get biscuits in the oven in 5 minutes flat. Okay, this is the one step that takes the longest when you're making biscuits. And it's also a critical step. I mean, the quality of a biscuit is all about how much fat can you get into that flour. That's where the flavor is. And this allows you to do two things simultaneously, to evenly mix the butter in the flour, but at the same time, the butter is distinct from the flour. It's not fully mixed in. So we have all these little pockets of butter, and that's the point. That's what you're trying to do. That leads to awesome biscuits. So try this. If you need the recipe, it's of course on our website, RBC Avion. You'll find it, Avion Collection. We've got great recipes for you. Just grating butter, such a game changer, so much easier. There it is, it's all mixed in. And then all you have to do is add your milk, in this case, a 1.5 cups of milk, stir it in, and you've got a biscuit dough. Pretty straight ahead. Of course, I use that end of the spoon. I find that super easy to bring it together. Making a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. You see what's up. That's a biscuit dough. Okay, super easy to do. The secret here is just having that butter in the freezer, ready to go at the drop of a hat. If you're gonna make biscuits, if you make them regularly, have some butter in the freezer, super easy. Get them in the oven fast. Okay, so let me wash my hands. This again would be where we'd be on commercial break normally. Not my best side. Right on, we're doing good. Boy, we're covering a lot of ground though, aren't we? I'm sort of, let's double check. I don't want to miss anything good. Oh, here's a fun one. Check this out. Yeah, this is a fun trick. Check this out. Full head of garlic. Okay, full head of garlic. Every single clove, right off a head of garlic. They all need peeling, every single one. Here's how you do it. Stand by for loud noise. 2 bowls, identical. Check it out. And look at that. Just the peels just fall right off. It looks so easy. It's just a game changer. So easy to peel garlic that way. One of my favorite kitchen hacks. And when you peel garlic that way, you know, when you've got these garlics standing around, it's to finishing. Okay, thinking about how to finish things. So let's talk about that for a moment. I made it through my whole list. Boom, 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 boom. Yep, all the way through. So now let's talk about finishing. Okay, finishing is a huge part of cooking. There's so much you can do through proper finishing. So let's just think about that. For instance, that sauce I made earlier, that tomato sauce. Lots of ways to make a great tomato sauce. Those of us that really, really like garlic flavor, grating garlic on the microplane grater and stirring it into the sauce at the last second, as much as you like. Now that's how you make a garlicky sauce, because raw garlic has a very different flavor, of course, a very different pungency than cooked garlic. And so much of that pungency disappears in cooked garlic, and so many of us like that pungency. So that's a neat way to level up a sauce, finishing. Green herbs. So often in cooking, we're called upon to add the green herbs last. These flavors are tenuous, they're delicate, and they can't withstand long cooking. That happens to be fresh oregano. but it could just as easily be any other fresh herb. And many of the recipes that you've cooked over time, we're always asked to leave the green herbs till the end, the finishing flavors, so we don't damage them, okay? Easy way to think about it, maybe there's rosemary in the sauce, you simmer it for an hour, the kitchen smells amazing for the whole hour, which is nice, but when it's time to eat the sauce, the rosemary's gone, you simmered it away. So add it at the end, okay? Oregano. Then, in terms of finishing, okay, there are 3 things to consider when you're finishing just about anything, okay? So you could argue the single most important tool in this kitchen is that spoon right there. That spoon tells me everything I need to know. And so I taste, and I'm looking for 3 things: salt, acid, and heat. I want this to balance. I want it to be the best it can be. I'm very deliberately thinking about 3 things right now. Salt. It's nicely seasoned. I could add a little bit more, just a touch more. I'm using San Marzano canned tomatoes here. They're already seasoned. The tomatoes are seasoned, so just a little bit of salt. Honestly, I think it needs to brighten up a little bit. And so often, just a little splash of vinegar at the end of a sauce, a soup, lentils. Golly, there ain't no lentil dish that doesn't benefit from a little vinegar at the end. Just a touch, just a touch. I'm finishing. There's my acid. And then maybe my favorite, some warmth, some heat, you know, little salt, fat, and heat. So I'm going to use some chili flakes from our farm. Just a little bit of heat, just level it up a little bit. Doesn't take much. And I love chili flakes, medium, medium heat, warm heat, warm heat. And you can see, I didn't use very much there, just a tiny bit. I just simply stir it all together. There we go. So I added a touch of salt, I added a touch of heat, and I added a touch of acid. Let's see what I got. What a difference. It just brightens it right up. All of a sudden, boom, it's like a grown-up sauce. Delicious. And the heat, the warmth, not spicy, warm heat. That's what I'm going for, warm heat. That's a good sauce. And every dish benefits from that kind of thinking when it's time to finish. Salt, fat, and acid. Got it? Whoo! I think we're going to do some Q&A now, okay? Let's do some Q&A. We just covered a lot of stuff, and I know there's some Q&A coming my way. So here we go. All right, we got a new light to turn on. And let's see what we've got here. Thanks, everybody. It's a lot of fun doing this stuff. We just blew through so many cool little kitchen lessons. And let's see. Okay, so just some quick Q&A, folks. Thanks for taking the time to answer. And before I get there, I want to announce some cookbook winners, eh? We've got some cookbook winners tonight, 11 of them, and it's a great book. One of my latest, Farm, Fire, and Feast, and thanks RBC Avion for sharing this. So, hey, here's who gets a cookbook tonight. Kim Richardson Wainwright, and Angela Hamill, and Shanice Sibilis Narain, and Glenn LaRusick, and Penny, and Kathleen Mary Thomas, and Christina Matthews, and Cameron Thompson, and Evelyn D. Carroll, and Melrose Paquette, and Pat Donovan. Everybody, enjoy your new cookbooks. And so let's talk Q&A. First question, how long do I store that bacon fat for, and for how long? It's generally salted, it's bacon fat, so it's good at room temperature for sometimes 30 days. It sits there, a month it sits there just fine, often. Gosh, almost not indefinitely, but in practical terms, I often have that bacon fat sitting there for up to a month, weeks. I mentioned a Peugeot pepper grinder. That's a question. Yes, it was a Peugeot, the classic brand that you know that makes cars. They started making pepper grinders way back in the day, 100 years ago. Thank you for asking. Do I use cast iron? Yeah, great question. I use a lot of cast iron, in particular in our fire-driven cooking environment at the Inn at Bay Fortune, where we cook everything with live fire. We couldn't do it without cast iron. The brand name of that microplane grater was a Lee Valley. Go to the Lee Valley catalog, good Canadian woodworking company, homeware, you know, just really good tools, you know, tools for those of us that love our tools. the Lee Valley microplane grater, but there's others out there. I mean, they're not the only ones that make it. If you want to get the original, go to Lee Valley, but lots of people sell microplane graters. Best type of peppercorn, we mentioned the Telecherry peppercorn. And you can really geek out on your peppercorns. I mean, there's like any other ingredient that we cook with. There's a place in the world where peppercorns are local and some are better than others. But I want to be clear, remind you what I said earlier, that 99% of leveling up your pepper is simply taking the time to buy the whole and grind it. The rest is just like tiny details. So no, when you use a convection oven, you do not need to use a lower temperature. You do not need to adjust your oven. You just need to stay focused. You just need to be present. Might cook a little quicker. That's okay. It's going to cook more efficiently. It's going to be more evenly cooked, more brown and the like. But you do not need to lower your temperatures. You might find it cooks quicker, reasonably so. Just pay attention. It's a better cook. Difference between convection baking and convection roasting settings, at least in my oven. Convection bake means that the fan is going, convection, but that the top elements, the heating elements on the top of my oven are not on, but the ones on the bottom are. I find when I turn on convection roast, the top elements in the oven also go on. It's more of an active heat. There's more heat in the oven. And that makes sense. That's roasting. Roasting tends to be higher temperatures. We tend to turn on convection roast and right away go to 350, 400, and so on. Often when we bake, though, lower temperatures. Best type of cookware to use is home cooked, straight up Meyer, Canada. Folks, we make great cookware right here at home in Canada, right here in Prince Edward Island. Meyer makes heavy duty cookware, world's best materials, made at home, made in Canada. That's my suggestion. Let's see. Do I cool my pans before putting them into soak? No, I don't. I'm not worried about them. They're not going to mess up on me. How do I clean cast iron pans? I clean cast iron pans with a scrubby and soap. I am not worried about damaging the patina, the finish on my cast iron pans. I'm not in there going hard. It's just a light clean, but I use them so often, so frequently that there's a very nice seasoning built up on them. You don't need to be afraid of soap cleaning up cast iron pans. So many of us are so worried about soap for some reason that we don't actually clean the pan. It's okay, light soap. Now, you don't have to go crazy because it's a good pan. The pan's not going to be that dirty in the first place. Okay. Joseph, are you 6 years old and you're helping your mom out in the kitchen, Tara? That's awesome, Joseph. Thank you for watching us tonight. I'm proud of you, Joseph. I think that's time well spent. Help your mom in the kitchen. Just reading a few notes and thoughts here. I keep my garlic. How do I keep my garlic to make it last for months? It's hard to get garlic to last for months. We hang garlic. If you want to spin around, Al, there's some hanging right there. We bunch it up. That's garlic that we grew last year at the inn. Just bunch it up and hang it up in the eaves of the rafters of the inn. You have to season it properly. It's a particular process. Garlic takes some real dedication. When it comes out of the field, it has to be perfectly seasoned, perfectly dried before you can hang it. And so I hope that helps. Best way to regulate oil when you're deep frying in a regular pot, I'll state the obvious, is with the burner, of course, controlling the heat, but with a digital thermometer. Stay focused. Deep fat frying at home is dangerous. It is among the single most dangerous things that any Canadian will do this year. Deep fat frying at home. It leads to structure fires. It leads to death. Stay focused. You can do it. It is dangerous. There's many things in life that are dangerous that we do. Just stay focused. So know that you're doing something dangerous. Big pot in a safe place, not too deep, safe, and certainly don't drop a big old turkey in there either. And use a digital thermometer. You should never be getting your oil temperature up as high as 400 degrees. If you're at 400, it's too high. 365 tends to be a sweet spot for frying things. Enough heat to brown, not too much heat to burn, not too low that it doesn't actually brown and crisp. 365. So the answer is digital thermometers, big pot, and adjust the heat on the stove. And I hope that helps. And be careful. Frying's dangerous. Woof. All right, that's a lot of questions and a lot of hints and a lot of tricks, and somehow we made it through all of them. And I just want to say thank you and remind you that we'll be back June 15th. We're going to do this again, and we're going to cover on June 15th the single most viral recipe that I have ever come up with in my entire career. I never saw it coming. This one went like 10 million times higher than all the other ones put together. And of course, it involves bacon. See you then. That's the potato bacon, the legendary potato bacon cheddar tart. We're going to do that on June 15th. And you just know that any recipe that calls for 2 pounds of bacon is going to be a good one. Hey, we're looking forward to July 13th. We've got some of this new super cool Elon Musk, Tesla, Starlink internet around here. All of a sudden, I got more Wi-Fi in my bucket than I even know what to do with all of a sudden. So we're going to be able to do this thing outside in July. We're going to do a live hour from the fire garden at the Inn at Bay Forts and do some live fire cooking. We got this fancy new router out there. It's going to work great. See you in July for that. And then in August, we're going to do it again. If it goes well in July, we're going to do it again in August. And this time we're going to be on the farm and we're going to just make some summer salads right there on the farm, right in the middle of whatever's growing, see what we come up with. So I am so thrilled to have the opportunity to share this time with you on behalf of RBC Avion. I too look forward to traveling and getting back out and seeing Canada. We've had a chance since we spoke last to travel a little bit. We've done some great RBC events. We got ripping again, all of us. We shucked oysters halfway up Lake Louise for Avioners. It was awesome. It was super cool. We even made it to Two Sisters Vineyard in Niagara just a few weeks ago. Met some lovely people, cooked an amazing meal, and we can't wait to go back. Again, on behalf of RBC Avion. It was a crowd full of Avioners that night. It was a great night. We even did an event right there in downtown Toronto at the Arcadian Court. And that's a really nice place. And that was a wine tasting dinner with the folks from Quailsgate all the way out in BC. So lots more of that kind of thing ahead. Pay attention to the details, lots of details on our website and everything. Lots more great travel opportunities ahead. Lots brewing for this fall and lots for you too. Summer's coming. It's right around the corner and it's a good time to get out and explore every inch of this country, find every corner, find some new story that nobody else knows about yet. Go and taste it. Go and live it. Let's be good Canadians. Let's have a great summer. And thanks for spending an hour with me right here on Prince Edward Island. So over and out from my test kitchen. Once again, thanks, RBC Avion.